To the Brain Mission channel. I'm your host Brainy. Just want to say Happy New Year to all of you guys, and I hope that all of you guys would have gotten your first choice last year. This year we're jumping in our first video of the year, and it's for the PEP Ability Test Practice Paper 6, and this is for all the persons who are going to be doing their ability test coming February the 20th. So let's jump right in. This is just a preparation test for you, so you can take this test in preparation for the ability test on February 20th. And also just to remind you that this paper, I can send it to you free of cost if you wish. You can just request it, all right? So the test has 40 items. Section 1 has 20 items and section 2 has 20 items. Shade the circle with the letter beside the option that best represent your answer. Now for section 1, it's verbal reasoning. So for items 1 to 7, read the passage below, then select the word that is most similar in meaning to the underlined word. Let's go. When Dad got home from work today, he was absolutely exhausted. He went straight to the kitchen as he was famished. I overheard him telling my uncle on the phone that he was having a headache that had persisted all day. My brother wanted to play football with him as they usually do on Wednesdays, but Dad said he did not wish to be troubled. After having dinner, he seemed satiated and reclined in his favorite chair for a nap. He woke up rejuvenated. So the goal here is to look at all the words that are underlined and replace them with words that have similar meaning to those words underlined. So let's go ahead and start with number 1. So when Dad got home today from work today, he was absolutely exhausted. I would say drained, because happy and those are not, it's gonna change. He can be happy, but he was tired. It's more appropriate. Exhausted is the word we're looking at, which means drained. He went straight to the kitchen as he was famished, excited, overfed, definitely not parched. Ravenous would definitely be the word here. Let's see. The next one, persisted. I overheard him telling my uncle on the phone that he was having a headache that had persisted. So that means continued. So I'll use that. Pounded is also a word that could be looked at here, but I'll choose continued. Troubled. My brother wanted to play football with him as they usually do on Wednesdays, but Dad said he did not wish to be troubled. So I would say not unperturbed. That's unbothered. Stimulated means to kind of kindle. Played. I would say agitated. Doesn't want to be agitated because that would be troubled is similar. After having dinner, he seemed satiated. So if we're looking at satiated, I would say that thirsty. Was he looking thirsty after dinner, starved, or satisfied? I would say that satisfied is the selection there. And reclined. Reclined is something, go back, or relaxed would be the word that I'll choose here. And then rejuvenated. So it says, in his favorite chair for a nap, he woke up rejuvenated, which means that he's now renewed. So I will choose B for this one. Let's move on to number 8. So number 8, from 8 to 9 that is. It says for items 8 to 9, select the option that completes the Jamaican proverb. Patient man ride donkey. So that's definitely donkey, not bicycle or third lord. Cow never know the use of him tail till him lose it. So you never know what you have until it's not there anymore. So that's definitely the answer. Alright, so let's use the following information to answer questions 10 and 11. 5 men, Joe, Tom, John, Dick, and Tony, all own cars. Joe and John own small cars. Only Tony, Tom, and John have red cars. Only Tom and Dick have cars that are more than 4 years old, and only Joe and Tony have air conditioning in their cars. So let's go to number 10. Who has a large air conditioned car? So we know that it's only Joe and Tony that have air conditioning in their cars. So if we look at what's written here, it says Joe and John own small cars. So if Joe and Tony are the only ones with air conditioning, and Joe owns a small car, then it must be Tony that has a large car with air conditioning. So the answer is D is in Delta. Number 11. What conclusions can be drawn from the information? So let's look at the information. Some of the men did not care for air conditioning. We don't have enough to analyze or to come to a conclusion like that. It did say here, some of the men did not like the color red. That didn't state there any at all. Definitely not. Some of the men had cars with things in common. Yeah, I would say that's it. And D, let's just check D. It says the 5 men all had red cars. That is erroneous. So we're gonna choose C. Some of the men had cars with things in common. Let's move to number 12. Kaylee introduced Khalil as the son of the daughter of the father of her uncle. How are Kaylee and Khalil related? Wow, this is tough. Okay, so let's check this out now. Let's go backward. So Kaylee and Khalil looks like they're cousins, but let's check it out. So Khalil is the son of the daughter of the father of Kaylee's uncle. So which means that Kaylee's aunt would be Khalil's mother. So that would make them, yes, that would make them cousins. Okay, awesome. For items 13 to 15, select the appropriate word that is similar in meaning to the underlined word. So Elaine is the most diligent girl in our class. Similar word here would be hardworking. She's definitely not lazy, quiet, or relaxed. So I'll choose A for apple or alpha. Number 14. I really do not believe the chords are as frail as you think. Frail means not sturdy or strong, so I would say weak. So they're not as weak as you think. All right, number 15. I'm here to try to appease you. All right, not to accompany your anger. I will say D, to satisfy you. Right. Let's move on to number 16 to 20. So for items 16 to 20, select the appropriate word to complete the analogy. So yacht is to sea as camel is to deserts. So again, remember, analogy means example if you're not sure. So it's just to complete the example, that's what it's saying. And if there's yacht, normally it looks like a big boat. It sails on the sea. And a camel, normally you'll find them in the desert. So that's how I got the answer. Then you have owl is to shriek. That's the sound that, or scream, that's what's an owl, the sound that the owl make. Hyena is to chatter, laughter, I think. So it's not cry, whine, or whistle. They make multiple sounds, as a matter of fact. But I'll choose laugh because that's the only one I see that looks like the correct answer. Bats to colony. That's where bats, they move in the colony. Like in a cluster, we call bats, in a cluster, we call it a colony. And the grasshoppers would be to swarm, right? So that would be D. Human is to baby as moose. A moose is like a big cow, you say. So I would say calf. And human have babies and moose. I know cows would have calves, so if it's a moose like a cow, it would be a calf as a baby. Hospital is to medical care as school would be to education, I think. So That would be B. Now let's move to section 2, which is quantitative reasoning. So 21 reads, Sarah drops a stone onto each of these shapes. In which shape does the stone have the best chance of landing on a shaded space? So we're looking at probability, right? So probability means that if Sarah should throw a stone on any one of these shapes, which shape it will be more likely for the stone to hit a shaded area. So any shape you see with the most shaded area would be the one with the answer. So if you look at these, you can see that this letter B has more shaded area than any other shape here. So if Sarah should throw a stone, it will be more likely to land on shaded area in this I would say illustration here. So I will take B. Let's see, 22. You get 1 free cup of lemonade when you buy 3 hot dogs. How many hot dogs must you buy to get 4 free cups of lemonade? So this is just looking at ratio. So the ratio of, for every 3 hot dog, 1 cup of lemonade. So it's just 3 to 1. So it's showing you here 3 to 1. So all we need to do is to multiply the 3 here by the 4, and we'll get the answer to say that it would be 12, which means for 12 hot dogs, you get 4 lemonades. So that's the answer. Would be C for 12. Number 23. Carl loves to play football. He practices 35 to 40 minutes a day, 7 days per week. What is a reasonable estimate of the total time that he practices each week? So let's look at it. If he practices 35 to 40 minutes a day, 7 days a week. We just need to multiply these two ratios here again. So let's find the first one. It is 35. So 7, 5, that should be 35. So it's a 5. And we'll put the 3 over here. 7 3 is 21 and 3 24. So that would be 245 to begin with. And then the other one is 40. 7 zeros and 7 4 is 28. So that would be 280. So it will be between 245 and 280 minutes. So the answer is C for Charlie. Number 24. The clock is working, but the minute hand is missing. Which is reasonable for the correct time? So we see the shorthand or the hour hand is currently at 2. So we know it's not 11:20 or 8. It has to be 2. Well, is it 2 or 2:45? Now I will say 2, because if it was 2:45, it would be the shorthand would be closer to 3. So I will say C again for Charlie. Alright, Sam says he knows that the sum of 115 and 233 is even, because both of those numbers are odd. Why is Sam right? Well, he's right because 2 odd numbers always give you an even number. So he's correct without even working it out. So I'll choose B. Okay, this will take us to number 25. Question is, which shows 2 plus box equal 6? So A is showing 2 as a measurement, and like it's just saying 2 plus 6. Okay, that's what it's saying there. B is saying 2, which shows this section, and then it shows the entire section that it's 6. So it would be 2 plus here, that means 6. So the answer would be B. Good. 27. John records the weight of his puppy every month in a chart like the one shown below. If the puppy's weight gains continues, how many pounds will the puppy weigh at 5 months? So in the first month it was 10 pounds. second month 15, in the third month 19 dropped, and in the fourth month 22. So in the fifth month, I'll say it's 24. It keeps dropping by 2, or start by 4, then it dropped to 3. So first 5, then 4, then 3, then 2. So I will say it's 24 right here. Okay. 28. If n is an even number, what can be said about n plus 1? It must be an odd number. It is not an even number. Yeah, I know that. So it must be B. It's no longer an even number. Alright, 29. Children's pictures are to be hung in a line as shown in the figure. Pictures that are hung next to each other share a tack. How many tacks are needed to hang 28 pictures in this way? So here's an example illustrated right here. And if you have 3 pictures, you need 4 tacks. So if you have 28 pictures, you're just going to need 1 less, which is 27. So the answer is 27. 30. The objects on the scale below make it balance exactly. According to the scale, if triangle balances 3 circles, then the square balances which of the following? So as you can see, the triangle balances 3 as shown here. How many remaining? 1, 2, 3, 4. And you have 2 squares, so he's gonna be dividing 4 here by 2 to tell you how many it would be for 1 square, which would be 4 divided by 2 equals 2. So the answer is 2, or 2 circles. 31. Every 30 minutes, Dr. Kim recorded the number of bacteria in a test tube. So the time is 1 p.m. and it's 600. At 1:30 p.m. it's 1,190. So that's almost double, about 10 less. And then at 2 p.m. it's 2,390. So it doubled here. 2:30 p.m. it's 4,800, which doubled this. So which best describes what happened to the number of bacteria every 30 minutes? The number of bacteria increased by 500. That's not correct. The number of bacteria increased by 1,000. No. The number of bacteria doubled. I would say C. All right. 32. The rule for the table below is that numbers in each row and column must add up to the same number. What number goes in the center of the table? So all these numbers should add up to be the same. So 4 and 11, that's 15, and 6, that looks like 21 to me. 8 and 3, that's 11, and 10, that's 21. So 9 and 5, that's 14. 14 and 7 should be 21. So the answer should be 7. On a flight from Kingston to Montego Bay, the cost of a fare is $300. Every seat was sold. What additional information do you need to find the total of all fares? You're just going to need the number of passenger seats on the plane and multiply, and that's what you will get by the funds here. So that would be C. This looks like 34. Which of the options given should be the 4th figure in the pattern shown below? So we start with the shaded area here and here. Then the next one, it drops to here and here. Then the other one dropped to here and here. So it should be here and here now. So it would be here and here. So let's look for this. So it should be B. Alright, so Henry is older than Bill, and Bill is older than Peter. Which statement must be true? Henry is older than Peter. Yes, because Henry is older than Bill and Bill is older than Peter. So yeah, Henry is older than Peter. Henry is younger than Peter. No, Henry is the same as Peter. No, we cannot tell no. So it's Henry is older than Peter. The cost of renting a small tent is $2,000 plus $500 per hour. If Daniel has 4,200, for how long would he be able to rent a tent? Okay, So we know that he will have to rent the tent for $2,000 plus the $500. So he has $4,200. So we just take the $2,000 that he will pay first, and once he has the tent, he needs to pay hourly. So for the first, we're just gonna take the $2,000 from the $4,200. That will leave $2,200 here, right? So 500 into 2,200 goes 4 times, remaining 200. So that should be 4 hours. Answer is 4 hours. Okay. A triathlon is a competition where athletes compete in 3 events: a 1.5 kilometer swim, a 40 kilometer bicycle ride, and a 10 kilometer run. The winner is the athlete with the lowest overall time after completing all 3 events. 4 athletes, Damien, Judith, Megan, and Peter, are trying out to represent their country in this year's triathlon. They get 2 tries to complete each event. The 2 athletes with the lowest overall time after both rounds of the trials will be selected. Use this information and their performance times in the table below to answer question 37 to 39. So all we need to do is to add each. So this 160 and 143, that like about 300 and something. 300 and about 50 something, I guess. Here 200 and total 205 and 179. It's about 384, about that. 144, 141, 140. It's about 295. 157. So I would choose Judith as the lowest, along with Peter, right here. So who was the fastest swimmer in the first round? That would be Judith, 28. So I will take Judith right here. Who was placed 4th in the end of the second round? Second round, 4th. That would be Megan. It looked like with 179. So I'll choose Megan. And then which 2 athletes were selected at the end of the trials? Again, I would have known that it's Judith and Peter. So it's Judith and Peter, 39. Now for the grand finale. A piece of paper is folded in half and then folded in half again. A hole is punched in the corner nearest all folds as shown below in the picture. So you fold and then you fold again and then you punch a hole. It will definitely be in the middle. I can tell you that. So I choose A as in apple. And we have come to the end of the ability test for 2025 preparation, February the 20th. So I want to say thank you for staying with me. Remember to like, subscribe, share it with your friends who will be doing the ability assessment in February. And also, if you're interested in this paper, you can reach out to me and you will get the paper free of cost. I am Brainy. Have a brainy day.